It's absurdity in our PG font. Tycho Brahe's behind creased cardboard, but you don't pull up chairs for humor, do you? You shouldn't miss this guy Cuthris. He shakes a stone. There's Light Eldritch compelling you, the viewers, to hit the merch store. 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 Walnut's Grove is gone, which sucks for a druid. Plus mail is strong, but nuts wise into it. Sigils on the cave wall stabbed like daggers. She took wolf form and she howled aloud. She bit at Cuthris and she snapped her snout. And by her instincts led you to the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Rosie, she's shopped there before. All her grandkids get gifts from this store. Little halflings with their kingpins playing footloose. I've seen them picnic beneath the stars, wearing their bright dark magic scarves. It's a one-stop shop for birthdays at the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store.
Denard's a paladin, dragonborn, who treats everybody else with scorn. But you know that they all deserve it, don't you? He gains entitlement from bits, or so Jerry claims, so I guess it fits. And they both expect you all to hit the merch store.
Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Maybe there are gods beyond whose tendrils shift their waking pawns, but Jerry kinda seems like he has got this. Except the times when the phones light up and ideas arise, then outright erupt, and Jerry's gone, volcanic curse at Rothfuss. What now, Rothfuss? Come on, Rothfuss. Ignore Rothfuss. Gosh darn Rothfuss. Dang it, Rothfuss. My game, Rothfuss. Go home, Rothfuss.
Shut up,
Rothfuss. Flippin' Rothfuss. Let's not do this. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. One evening as the sun went down and our cooking coals were glowing, down the path came a party hiking. And they said, folks, we're all going. We're yearning for a portal far away in a tavern full of shouting. So join us, friends, and let's descend deep into Undermountain. Deep into Undermountain. There run dungeons hot and cold, where the monsters surge and pushes, and the youngest runes are old, where the mimics all lie waiting, and the goblin werebats roost. All the wisps and wasps and the mezzoloss the hidden pit where we'll all plummet deep into Undermountain. Deep into Undermountain, all our blades will sing like choirs as our arrows strike like drum beats and our green flame pops and pyres. Our barbarian will stomp a brood as the rogues dance shadow play. Oh, we're sworn to go at a great tempo. We'll chant our spells as we now delve deep into Undermountain. Deep into Undermountain, you'll always find new gear, and your old mundane accoutrement can be handed down, don't fear. The magic items you'll attune and the artifacts you'll find. There's armor with gems and weird potions and a propeller hat that lets you ascend deep into Undermountain. Deep into Undermountain, the mad wizard stood gates so folks can open portals. He left clues to activate. He has a thing for puzzles and he likes to throw his voice. We're going to delve to where he dwells, to the lowest tower, to seek his power deep into Undermountain. I'll see you there, the lowest lair, deep into Undermountain.
The summer is past, but your days keep growing longer. There's no wind in your sails, but the storm's blowing stronger. Walking hard, standing tall, keeping your head up through it all. Fighting fires, spinning plates. Goodness, how did it get so late? Lay your head down and dream. Lay your head down and lay your head down and dream. Lay your head down and just let your mind float downstream. Sprawled out in a moonbeam. Lay your head down and dream. Joe Hills is filmed before a live streaming audience.
That's us! Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee, and tonight, y'all are my live streaming audience. Happy Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. It is indeed Sunday, August 13th. Oh no! Just like that terrifying series of films, Sunday the 13th, where the man freaks out campers by building pinball machines near them. I am here with my hockey mask to build pinball machines. I don't actually have a hockey mask. I need a chroma green hockey mask. Somebody actually suggested the other day that I should do more stupid fundraisers, because when I say I need something stupid, people give me more money than I need for it. I always feel bad asking for stupid stuff, because I'm like, the real problem is I'm not sure if I can make rent this month or whatever. Like, can I cover my health insurance? I've got a lot of bills. I got to pay the real bills first. I feel dumb saying, hey, help me buy shorts. All the people who are like, Joe, here's money for the shorts fund. Like, I was never like, y'all, I need a shorts fund. You were just like, hey, Joe, it'd be nice if you didn't have to be miserable that your shorts got wrecked. But yeah, so somebody, I forget who suggested, like, hey, more stupid idea funds. So I don't know. Maybe we need chroma green hockey mask. Technologic says, which shorts are these? So during the card signing stream, when the paint pen that the Creo people shipped with the cards exploded all over. Luckily, none of the cards were ruined. Because I had them, I was only taking them out one at a time, and they were clear. But yeah, paint got all over myself and other parts of my desk and my audio equipment, which I don't care if there's paint on my audio equipment. But like, I was kind of like, oh no, these are my nice shorts. I'm supposed to be going out to eat with my parents this weekend, and this is what I was going to wear. And so anyway, I ate it with my parents this weekend, and I wore the new shorts that y'all helped me buy, and I was not self-conscious about having paint all over my clothes at the nice restaurant. So thank you very much. I know some people might be like, nice shorts. What kind of restaurant can it be that you have to wear nice shorts? Like, I mean, you don't have to, but like, but like, some people be like, well, if you can wear shorts at all, there's clearly no expectation. But yeah, no, in Nashville, it's pretty common for their like nicer places. People will wear like nicer shorts because if you were like wearing long trousers, you would faint between the car and the front door. It is very hot here for a lot of the year. But it's kind of the same thing where I'm like, I have a pair of nice jeans, and if my nice jeans get messed up and I can't wear them to restaurants, now I have a problem. People will be like, nice jeans? What kind of restaurant do you wear nice jeans to? One's in Nashville, okay? Yeah, like, they don't have to be perfect, but you can't have paint splattered all over them. Like, that looks like you showed up in your work clothes, and that's not always socially acceptable. Which, for me, if I'm picking where I'm gonna go, I'm always going to, like, places where nobody cares. But if my parents want to go somewhere nice, they're, like, excited that my daughter is back, because this is our first time all hanging out as a family, like, because my parents don't get to see my daughter when she's in New York over the summer either, right? So my daughter just got back from New York last weekend, and then this weekend we went out for a nice lunch. It was supposed to be a nice dinner, but, like, my parents are the sort of people who, like, they'll call me up and be like, you know what? We decided to just leave 4 hours early. See you soon. And I'll be like, okay. Like, anytime that I have plans with them, I'm just like, these could get shifted forward 6 hours, and I know these people, and I would not accept this behavior from anyone else because it's ludicrous. But, like, at a certain point, you can't control, like, your parents' bad habits, and you need to decide if they're deal breakers or not. And if they're not deal breakers, you just lean into it. Like, okay, we might be going to dinner at 6, or we might be going to dinner at 4, or we might be going to lunch at 1. We'll find out tomorrow! But the thing is, in some ways, it's always... I'm not sure if they do this on purpose for this reason, but it's always nice, because what I'll do is I'll schedule, like, okay, I'll spend 3 hours cleaning the apartment before they get here. And then they'll be like, hey, we're an hour out, we left early. And then I'll say, good! I only have to clean for an hour, and I'll tell them, really, you guys? I was gonna just start cleaning now. I had a few hours of stuff to do. It's gonna be cluttered when you get here. It's gonna be cluttered when you get here. Don't be mad about the clutter. And they're like, oh, it's fine. We're the ones who are getting there early. We get it. And then they got here, and they're like, it's not dirty. I'm like, no, it's not dirty. There's just, like, stuff I haven't had time to put away. It's cluttered, And they're like, it's fine. Yeah. Yeah, this is my vague parents' accent, like, it's fine. Anyway, so I had a very good day hanging out with my daughter and my parents today. I hope y'all are having a good time as well. Hey, Mr. Phillips, thank you for our first tip of the stream, who says, Chroma Green Hockey Mask Fund Seed Money. Thank you very much, Mr. Phillips. That puts us 18 away from the next face camera expansion milestone. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Let's go ahead and take down that setting up stream sign. That was the camera. Where's the setting up stream layer? Yeah, there we go. Bye-bye, setting up stream sign. Ta-da. Wait, no, that's the camera again. Dang it. I was going to say, let's get that queued up for later. Great. But anyway. Toxic Glitter says, I didn't realize you were raised by the parents from the Peanuts. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah, that kind of muted trombone. Okay, so last night... Okay, let's talk about where we are at on the pinball machine here. 2 nights ago, we kind of got everything in final positions, and I said, let's give it a minute, let's look at it again with fresh eyes and make sure we're happy with it. Last night, we came back, we made a few subtle tweaks, and I was like, okay, I'm happy with these subtle tweaks, but there's actually a couple things that are missing right now that we do need to get put in. So, NJ says, you've been blazing through this. It's looking great. Thank you, NJ. I always want to look like I deserve to be congratulated. Woo! So, here we go. The biggest thing that you might notice is there's a lot of space in this part of the playfield here. That's okay, because there's going to be artwork that goes there. That's expected. That is basically for the geometry of the playfield to work, you need to have this open space here. So that's not a problem. But this open space down here, well, you also need that for the playfield to work, because the flipper needs to be able to flip the ball from down here into these targets, right? And then when these targets are knocked down, it needs to be able to hit them into the Pluto's kinetic sling disc, or up into the saucer, right? But what you want to also have is one of the things that you do with the lights on the pinball machine is you establish goals for people. One of the things that's cool about pinball is, okay, if you're familiar with, like, advancements on, like, Xbox Live, they added those in the last few years to, like, when you play a game, you can get, like, progress alerts or something, right? Hey, Technologic, thank you for the 20, who says, for the anything other than a green hockey mask fund. Thank you, we need a lot of that, too. We need a lot of rent and health insurance, and, I was looking at my telecom bills, and it's, like, with the internet, and then the travel internet, and the phone, yeah. Thank you, Technologic, for the 20. That's going to get us evenly past our first face camera expansion milestone. Where's the camera? What? Did I break the camera when I was... Did I delete the camera layer? Hold on. Oh, no, I moved the camera layer into the text grouping. And so that made it disappear when I took down the sign. And then I put it back immediately. Okay. No, oh my gosh. I don't necessarily use OBS the way it was intended to be used, and sometimes it punishes me. This is one of those times. It's like, Joe, stop it. Anyway, so I'm down here in slot 9, putting the hot in the hot bar, but thanks to Technologic, I can say, howdy, y'all. Crow Hills here, expanding as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. Dee-da-dee-da-dee, dee-da-dee-da-dee-dee-dee. And now we are down here. And is that on that side? Oh, I was like, oh, what are these things sticking up? Those are the armrests. I'm in the slightly more comfortable chair today. I got this nice chair for when Badger is here, and sometimes I use it myself as a treat. And I was using it the other night, and I was too busy today to swap it back out. Like, if I'm sitting here, like, playing Pinball FX, like with the Discord or whatever, I'll bring out the comfortable chair, because it's a lot easier to sit in that with the controller. Guy at the Frozen Heart says, I'm a bit out of the loop. Has Joe stopped streaming to Twitch? Yeah, they asked people to stop sending them data if you're sending data to other people at the same time, and I felt like it would be rude to argue the point. Fairy Terrier says, why not use the better chair all the time? A few reasons. The better chair swivels, and so it doesn't keep my body and my face in the same place in relation to the camera and the microphone. And so if I'm trying to get a really important recording done, I need to keep my head and my whole body, ideally, like, the same location. Whereas this chair has, like, wheels and swivels. So I basically got it for studio guests to sit in. Like, when Badger's here, I would let Quinn use it during the music streams, but apparently it's the way, like, it's not good for sitting in if you're playing guitar. So we don't use it for Quinn, usually. But, so usually Quinn and I will just both sit in, like, static chairs that don't swivel or twist or go up or down or anything. Whereas this chair, like, leans forward, leans back. But I accidentally started the stream without realizing it, and we're gonna just power through. We're powering through. Because when I was preparing for my parents to get here, I threw a bunch of stuff into the studio that's now on the floor where this chair would go if I rolled it out of the way. And I don't want to deal with that right now. I want to work on Minecraft. Woo! Minecraft. Okay. So, what we want to work out is, if we look at the map here, it's actually probably pretty perilous for me to keep both elytras in my inventory. I was just at the, I was refilling my elytra energy before we started the stream. So, we're going to drop this off here. Or actually, no, let's put it in this box and then put that back in the ender chest. But yeah, I was just I didn't want to have to start the stream by going to the ender. Okay, so whoops, I am clicking the wrong window. Hopefully, I'm not clicking anything wrong. Okay, so if we look at the map here, there's 2 diamonds we need to add. I was just talking about video game achievements because one of the things that pinball machines will do is they will have lights on the playfield with the names of things that you can achieve by playing the game. So, for example, in the game Godzilla, if you manage to get all the way to the end of the game, you'll trigger something called Defeat Planet X. And there would be a light on the playfield called Defeat Planet X. And almost no one will ever get that light lit. But that's like a big thing if you manage to actually be like, whoa, like if you took a picture of the game when you at the end of that game, you could be like, oh man, look, I defeated Planet X. Look at not only how high my score is, but that I got this light lit, right? Or there's another one that's called King of the Monsters. And it's like, I'm never gonna get that King of the Monsters light lit unless I have like a ludicrously good game and I practiced for weeks in advance. Like, getting that far in this Godzilla game is something that you aspire to if you have one either, like, in your home collection or at, like, an arcade that you play all the time, and you're, like, really striving for this. This is, like, you know, a big deal. And in Guardians of the Galaxy, there's, like, a defend... I forget what the name of the planet is. Xandar. Defend Xandar. And I remember that because it's, like, Xandarian culture... I'm trying not to talk about Struck films, but this pinball machine is relevant in this case. So, yeah, sorry for talking about Godzilla and Guardians. This is not, like, an endorsement. Although, I don't know that the original Godzilla films from Japan are considered Struck work. But anyway, core concept. I'm talking about pinball machines that have concepts people here might be comfortable with, right? So, if we've got... And then there's, like, different levels of lights that are not quite that hard. Like, each of these 5 mission lights, you would complete this mission light by hitting these rollover switches, maybe completing both of them 3 times. You would complete the visual light here by shooting up here and hitting the pop bumpers 50 times. This purple one from hitting the trap ball 3 times. This one by hitting all 7 of those drop targets and starting Chandra multi-ball. This one you would get by hitting the spinner enough times, right? So each of these 5 missions corresponds with like some sort of playfield objective. But we've got some more lights that are kind of like demonstrating that you accomplish certain other goals that would go like in here. But real quick, Kyle Valier, thank you so much for tipping 50, who says, to amazing person, let's grow that Joe. Okay, 18 gets us 1 face camera expansion, 38 gets us another, 48 and 50 puts us 8 away from the next expansion. Let me post that link while I say, howdy y'all, or no, expand Joe, do. Dang it, I hit the microphone. Sorry about that part. And then numero dos, even larger Joe, da. Alrighty, and then that puts us now, like I said, 8 away from the next expansion and 28 away from the entrance of the Joust. Hey, welcome Enzo. Glad to have you here tonight. Okay. So, where was I? Technologic says, yes, healthcare. I was visiting your country this past week, specifically Chicago. Chicago's a great pinball city. That's where they manufacture a lot of the machines. They have a lot of arcades where they test early versions of machines. It's really cool. And, Technologic says, I was weirded out about ads for children's hospitals, and other hospitals too, because in a reasonable place, you wouldn't choose your hospital based on Yelp reviews. Yeah, this is a real thing in America. Yeah, I spend close to $800 a month on health insurance, and then I pray we never have to use it, because, yeah, it can get very expensive even with insurance, and it can get insane without it. I mean, it's arguably pretty insane with it. Health insurance has challenges in America that, yeah, or a real struggle. Okay, so where was I? Oh, yeah, I was just talking about how we're going to need to add some additional lights in this part of the playfield. And the lights are basically plastic. I say that we're adding lights. We're actually adding markers for plastic cutouts. The actual physical lights would go under the plastic cutouts. But you can't just have, like, a bulb sticking out of the playfield because the ball would bounce off it, right? So instead, you have these cutouts that are plastic that, like, the light can shine through. Yeah, Ray McKay says, gosh, the playfield's coming along so well. Thank you. I mean, here's the thing. No joke. I have spent, like, even though I've only spent, like, the last week and a half actually building this, Stephanie Hall says the date needs updating. Is the date wrong? I thought I changed it to the 13th. Maybe it didn't update when I... Maybe I didn't actually tap the update button. Yeah, no, I have it in my phone as August 13th. I thought I clicked update. So maybe it didn't go out. But, hey, thank you, Stephanie. Motosin says, I pay almost $1,000 a month and I still had to file for bankruptcy after my limb collapsed. Yeah. I mean, it is really bad here. But yeah, so I have been preparing this to get my intuition in a place where we could kind of see what works and what didn't. I've been preparing for this for over a year now. I've spent about 14 months intensely, like, analyzing pinball playfields and traveling to other states to play machines that we didn't have access to here, playing all the machines I could get my hands on here from a bunch of different eras, listening to podcasts about pinball machine design over the last, like, 7 decades. There's a lot. And so, yeah, I'm really happy with how it's coming together, but I'm also kind of, like, I'm not surprised it's coming together so well, because to some degree, if it wasn't, it's just like, boy, then what did I do all that work for? You know what I mean? Like, but, you know, I've witnessed myself doing all that stuff behind the scenes, whereas y'all haven't necessarily. So, yeah. Okay. So, at this point, I feel like, so what we need to do is we've got 2 different multi-balls that we need to add diamond playfield insets to. And, so a diamond playfield insert is, I can post a link. This is not a sponsor, but this is just like this website, Pinball Life. One of the guys who works there, Scott Denisi, actually designed Total Nuclear Annihilation. And so when I need a reference for stuff, I pull up their parts lists and stuff. You see these 50-cent diamond inserts that I'm linking here. These are what we're going to build. We're going to put 2 of these diamond inserts on the playfield to represent the 2 special multi-balls. One of the special multi-balls is going to be the Pluto multi-ball from hitting that sling disc here. I'm going to zoom in with this, what do you call it? Eye stethoscope. So this sling disc, if you hit it enough times, you build power, and then you can lock a ball up here for the Pluto multi-ball. Then there's going to be if I was designing this as a real game, if you complete all 5 of these missions here, then there would also be what I would call broad spectrum multi-ball, right? And so I want to have a light on the playfield, like here and here. And so the idea is you want players to look at something like that and go, oh, hey, there's a special light called broad spectrum multi-ball. How do I start that? Oh, hey, there's a light here called Pluto multi-ball. How do I start that? And then, you know, so, okay, well, if they look at the art on the rest of the playfield, there's this is going to look like Pluto. So they might think, maybe I start the Pluto multi-ball that this light would have on it, a label or whatever, by spinning the Pluto disc. And they look at the broad spectrum multi-ball, and they might say, okay, well, this is the 5 different bands of the electromagnetic spectrum. We're not doing the entire electromagnetic spectrum. We're doing 5 bands that space telescopes study the most. Maybe if I complete all 5 of these missions, that'll start the broad spectrum multi-ball, right? And so basically what we want to do is we want to get 2 of these diamond inserts. We want to mark where we would cut out the plywood for each of those. We've got a ball save or shoot again insert here. That's just a diamond I cut out. And other than that, I think we basically are ready to start punching holes in the playfield, building components, and layering on art. That's going to be out of scope for this episode. This episode is going to be just about getting the layout in and this thing I recorded with Cub about his museum. So, I'm hoping to get this out early to middle of next week. There's no way it's getting done tonight, but the playfield part is getting done tonight. We'll get these last 2 lights in, and then I'll need to record something possibly tomorrow morning, possibly tomorrow evening with Cub's Museum. And then we'll have the episode hopefully ready to go. Like I said, Tuesday, Wednesday, or so. Okay. Ugh. Excuse me. Let's see. Did I put all the glass away? Yeah, I did. Okay. Let's grab yellow glass. I was going to suggest for this. We have plenty of yellow dye, and yellow is a pretty traditional pinball machine light color for this sort of thing. Oh, there's a workbench over here, so we can make more yellow blocks before we get started on this. Dun, 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 dee, dun, 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 dun. Okay. So, these diamond inserts, if we do them absolutely level, would be 11 blocks wide and 5 blocks over. You know, actually, but I don't know if I want to do them exactly level. Part of me wants to angle them slightly. Let's just show you what they would look like at... Okay, so if they're going to be 11 blocks wide and 5 blocks high, and that puts us around here. Okay, so let's say we have this first block be like lined up with the flipper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So let's just do it like absolutely level, and then we'll come back in and do it. So this is a 5 by 11 diamond. Or no, this would be here. Okay. So 3, 2, no, this is way off. Hold on. Where's the midpoint? Let's get the Silk Touch pick back out. Okay, so how does this diamond look? Okay, that looks right. Okay, that's about the right size, and it's in the right place. It's not at the right angle, but like I said, we're just trying to get a general feel for how large this is in relation to the rest of the playfield and the rough placement. This is not going to be the final placement of these or the final angle they'd necessarily be oriented at, because I want to rotate them slightly, but rotating things slightly in Minecraft at this scale can get kind of... So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So let's go back up here and see how this looks. Bloop. Landing on this thing is challenging. Hey, howdy, Grace Winter. Okay. So, yeah, we definitely, I think, need to angle these up slightly, but they're so small in relation to let's... Centauratron says, last time you tried to build something at a slight angle, you took down and rebuilt a wall a bunch. Yeah, we end up doing a lot of that here on the HermitCraft server. Okay. I feel like we can get the rough proportions of this. Now, if we did this at a 45-degree angle, which, once again, these are not the final placements. We're just playing with it. We're getting a sense of it. Okay. So... 1.4 times 4.5 would be 6. So at 45-degree angle, that would be 6 blocks on one of the diagonals, and then, oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Wait. No, there's no way that's right. Hold on. 4.5 times 1.4. No, okay, that's 6.3. Okay. So then 10.5 times 1.4 is 14.7. No, I'm doing this backwards. That would make these bigger rather than shorter. Would it? Hold on. Okay, 4.5 divided by 1.4 is 3. 10.5 divided by 1.4 is 7.5. That sounds closer to being correct. Okay. So, if we had one that was, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then in the middle block it went out 3. This would be a comparably sized diamond, just starting here. If we look at the map, those should be... Oh, it's not exactly right, is it? No, that doesn't look right at all. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, well, the other one is thicker because we had to round up, and with this one, we're kind of rounding down. It's not wrong. It's just not right the way I'd like for it to be right. Okay, let's see if we tried doing this with 4 wide. The problem is... Hey, welcome Sunset Wolf. If we try doing this 4 wide, it ends up being weird. Let's get this out of our offhand so we can make the map bigger. And then let's move away with the rocket. And then immediately regret that we got rid of the thing. Okay, so that versus that. That's definitely the same diagonal. Yeah, it's the same length. It's just the width looks way different because we had to thicken the other one to get it, because we had to round up. It's not ideal, but it works. Okay. So if we wanted to, though, we could come over here and do the same thing, kind of. Let's just roll that out like that. Okay, yeah. Would glass panes thin it out? Glass panes and maps, and at this scale, we need to work with whole blocks, even if we have to round up or down. So, we'll play with it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to indicate where a diamond insert would go. So, I should have put that back in there also. But yeah, okay, that looks way... Those look way too narrow at this, because it's like 1 3/4 inches by 3/4 inches wide. Oh, so that actually should be about right. I think the second ones we did are actually closer in actual render to the original dimensions of the ones I linked. Those lights. Yeah. Yeah, we made them. These ones are a little bit. The first ones we did ended up being too chunky just by nature of the rounding. So these ones are actually closer to correct, which is fine. We want them to be closer to correct. And we could also thicken them up a little bit if we wanted to, but I'm not sure we need to. But, okay. So, I think... Okay, the sun's setting in the sky. We're gonna head down to lay our heads down, dream. Dun 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 dun. Okay. So, if we wanted to rotate these slightly, let's say we just wanted to angle these slightly differently. We could come in here, move that down one, and this up one. And you're going to say, Joe, that doesn't entirely work. Well, okay, sure. So let's add that block and remove this block. And we'll add that block and remove this block. Okay. So then maybe we add this block and remove that block. Also, then we add this block and remove that block. Then we start looking at this and it's like, okay, well, maybe we need that and that again just to even things out. And then how does that diamond look? Does it look like it's tilted the way we want it to? I think I did that the opposite of the way I want it, but it does still kind of look like a diamond. We might need to chunk it up slightly here and here. It's hard to say. Stephanie Hall says, watched XB's episode with you in it. Still think you're a genius for figuring out his method. Thank you. Yeah, I thought he was a genius. I thought he did that on purpose. I was like, he's got, like, when I found that, I was just like, this is such a brilliant twist. I'm not upset, but I am a little disappointed. Because I was so impressed when I figured that out. I was like, oh boy, this is a great twist, XB. I gotta give him credit here. He really nailed this. It's like, whoops, nope, that was an oversight. I'm like, oh no, I was so impressed though. Okay. I don't know how you're supposed to get that max score otherwise. It is a very high max score, is the other thing. Maybe we trim that down a little bit too. That might actually... What if we trim down 3 on this side and 3 on this side? How does that look? Ooh, that's actually maybe better. It's like a little lemony though. I'm probably better off just slightly tweaking this. I think this layout here is actually really close to probably what I want. Oh yeah, that feels. That might be how we do this. And so if we wanted to tilt it back the other way, we bring it around like this and this. Oh, that feel... Yep, okay. Now we're in business. Welcome, Bagel. Glad to have you. XB says that there is a real way to do it. I just haven't figured it out. I figured out the wrong way. I think there is genuinely something interesting about the game that I'm missing. And I'm gonna record another run. Oh, I was supposed to do that. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I'm gonna record a few more runs tomorrow too. We also need. I was like, because I promised my daughter, she watched the last episode. I promised her that she could sit here with the pad and paper and mark down the things as I did them. But she's in bed now. So yeah, we were gonna do that earlier today, but then my parents came early and everything got thrown off. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, I always like streaming or recording better with somebody else, like as an audience, because it gets my brain in the right place. So a lot of times if I record a segment, with another hermit, I'm already kind of thinking about other people because I'm thinking about the other hermit. But if I'm doing a solo recording, sometimes I'll ask my fiance to hop on a screen share, or my daughter will hang out in the room with me while I do it. It helps me have a good energy when I'm doing the recordings. And yeah, I think that's going to be fun for both of us, but we didn't quite get to it today, so we'll come back to that. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so yeah, I think we definitely want these to be higher up, like closer to... Here, let's remove these ones. Did my high score get removed? Yes. Even though the rules as written were obeyed. Actually, they weren't, because there was, he didn't use deep slate lapis on the sign. He used normal lapis. So the scores that I had were actually wrong anyway. I was going to have to go back and correct them. It's okay, though. I had fun playing the game. I'm looking forward to it. Okay. So, we're going to move these 2 lightning bolts. They're not quite lightning bolts, they're diamonds, but they kind of look like lightning bolts because they're yellow here, and that's okay. I didn't realize how big those square lights were. Maybe we do want to do the 1-inch squares, because I didn't want them to overpower the diamonds quite this much. That's going to be... Honestly, and from a playfield cutout standpoint, this amount of space between the cuts would be very hard to do without, like, screwing up the cuts. Yeah, let's think this through. Let's, okay, so the squares would actually be closer to... How wide is this one? This one's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but that's like going across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 1. That's like 7. Okay, so these are 9, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we need to bring this down to 2/3 that. So we need these to be 6 across. So, enjoy watering your yard, Lizzie. Good evening, Mr. Hardluck, and glad to see you, Stephanie Hall. Okay, so if we bring this down... I was going to say, let's keep them centered where they are, but if they're 6 wide, we're going to need to bring them down a little bit more than that. So, we're going to keep 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then... Oh, no, wait. Did I do these as 8 across? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is this one just wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope, I counted wrong. Okay, yeah. 2/3 of 8 is still roughly 6 in Minecraft, so. Beef built the sign for XB, which is why beef didn't factor it into the game. Oh, okay, that's an interesting point. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Whoops. We'll leave these here for right now, and then we'll... Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on. We're supposed to be bringing this down to 4, though. Maybe we add some there. We remove some there. We'll play with it. Sun's setting soon. Okay. Fireworks to go to sleep. Bump. So wait, that one was 7 wide. Hold on. This one was also 7 wide. Was one of these raw? Is this one just wrong? No, this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It was 6 wide in the middle, but 7 wide in the other. That's weird. Okay. Now it's also... So... what do I do about this middle one then? Maybe the answer is just to make them all 7 instead of 9. That's kind of 2/3 9. Also 2/3. Alright, we're kind of playing with the idea here. Let's think this through. Yeah, let's just say we're gonna make it 5 wide, and we'll worry about it later. So where was the actual center of this one? Toxic Glitter makes a point about letting my daughter play the game herself. I feel like that gets weird, like, if we're competing with other hermits, because then their kids are gonna, like, I don't know. I feel like that creates a weird thing if she's playing a mini game versus the other hermits, and then, like, I don't know. That's not something we've talked about, and I don't... Cleo, good evening, Cleo. Happy Sunday from Nashville, Tennessee, all the way to England. How are you doing? Yeah, you didn't say it to do not disturb, though, so I'm disturbing. But yeah, I figured if it's 3 a.m. and Cleo's on the server, Cleo is ready for disturbances. Cleo's like, I wanted to watch a horror movie, but it wasn't on, so I decided to go see what Joe Hills is up to. I was just going to paint a hockey mask green and then terrify campers. How does that sound? Cool. I will hide. I will hide for the thumbnail. I'm hiding now for the thumbnail, so you can get your thumbnail. It'll be a little Easter egg, just hiding Joe Hills in the thumbnail. Cleo probably wants me to leave. Okay, I'm gonna leave. Bye, Cleo. Cleo never logs on this time, so I really thought she needed to be cheered up, but apparently not. Instead, we're gonna go figure out these stupid squares I did the math on slightly wrong. Yeah. She has now set her status to do not disturb. She does not want to be disturbed. Night, Cleo. Yeah, her status was not set to do not disturb when she first logged on. And she was just like, nope. Cease the disturbance. Puny mortal. How dare you defy me? As the kids say. Actually, I might not do the corners on these. That might actually look a little better to round those out. Yeah, let's remove these square corners. Give it the rounded corner vibe. Yeah, that'll help. Oh, best sound design in the game. Carter B's right. What? What's happening here? What's happening here? I'm perceiving, but I'm not believing. Please transmit to me clearly so I am receiving. What's happening? What's happening here? What's happening? What's happening here? Okay. Mr. Hardluck says, Joe, are you and Quinn going to play more Turtles on stream when the DLC drops? I didn't know there was DLC dropping. We have not discussed it. But that's a good question, Hardluck. We'll come back to that. I think so. There's a lot of weird stuff with like crossover media where we're kind of not like. So, for example, you know, there are some books that I'm reading right now that are also there's a TV series based off them, but like that's not why I'm reading them. But like, I don't, you know, it gets weird trying to talk about the books alone without also talking about the TV series at that point. And then like, yeah. So that game is not necessarily based on something that's struck currently, but it's its own. It's like in a weird place. I don't know. We might just wait. Is the short answer, and I'm not sure if we'll wait. Is the long answer. Okay. So let's yeah, more research required. It's not a bad suggestion, but it's not something that I'm sure where we're at on. So I don't want to speak for both of us on this, knowing that if I'm this uncertain, and Quinn is like, you know, actually has like a master's degree in film direction and like works on projects and stuff like with like LA connections and things. I would assume that if I'm cautious about something, Quinn is also going to have similar concerns, although she might be able to express them more clearly than I can. I'm usually just like, I get a bad feeling about that, so I don't think I want to do it, right? Okay. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, tweaking these lights to make them smaller feels right. That's going to make the playfield more viable here. We'll move these two diamonds up some. And then let's... Oh, I almost just landed directly on that thing without the totem. I have got a lot of I have died hitting this scaffold so many times. I am glad that was not one of those times, because that always sets me back a bit. Centauratron, exactly. That's a good example. I'm not going to repeat it, because, like, once again, I don't want to publicize struck work. But yeah, you understand. Yeah. Okay. So now that we're kind of happy with these, I think we need to figure out exactly where we actually want to place these. And these will look more reasonably sized in relation to those now. I think what we probably want to do, so the middle one of these is 3 wide, so it's a 3 by 5, but with an offset. Okay. So let's say we center this one like, no, that's not right. Center that one like here. Okay. And then we go that way and that way for the last one. Let's see how that looks. That's the wrong map. It's not as... No, because of the way the arc is of the other things, it needs to be pulled higher that way. Oh, actually, we also missed... Oh, actually, wait, maybe that's why. Might be just missing some blocks. It's still too far over this way here. Okay. Like maybe broadly way too much over this way. For this to work, it probably needs to be lower, and I'm probably going to end up replacing some of these blocks, but not all of them. So let's just restart it just to visually, because we were thinking about it like aligned with that, and so we have it like here. And then we come out one this way and one this way. Hey, welcome, Sean Cockrell. Glad you are enjoying the stream, and I hope you enjoy your lunch, too. Yep. We're just playing with this right now. What if we move these all up slightly? And we move these down slightly. Does this still come across as a diamond? Not as a great diamond, but if we... Oh, now it looks like Tennessee. Actually, that's pretty close to what we want. Okay, yeah. I think we maybe need to move it back 1, 2, 3. And then, so then let's say we start this other one lined up with that here. How many blocks was in each of these rows here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's a 6, 7, 6. One, two, three, 1, 2. Hold on. How does that mathematically make sense? Oh, because there's a 2 gap there. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that way we get our strong zigzag diamond. I went out too far on that one, but yeah, core concept. Oh, I think that's exactly what we want. Okay, so let's remove these earlier examples, and then we'll fly up and go check things out. Minty Felix. Individuals can still go see movies and talk about them and stuff. That's not scamming. But if you work in, like, YouTube video production, movie companies are trying to pay YouTubers like me to talk about movies because they can't get, like, famous, like, actors. Like, you know, they can't pay the actors to go on talk shows to promote them. So they're paying some YouTubers and stuff to talk about them instead. And so the guilds have asked that people who make stuff on YouTube, like myself and Quinn, please not promote films, paid or unpaid, in response. And I think that's a fair request. And so the reason that I ask that y'all don't talk about them too much while I'm streaming is because then I will accidentally start talking about them without thinking about it. Okay, this one's actually wrong here by a little bit. We need to move that one over one and over one here, maybe? Is that it? So yeah, I'm not trying to discourage you from talking about films on your own time or enjoying things on your own time. That's not part of what the union is asking. But Quinn and I are held to a different standard because we produce things professionally. And we want to demonstrate our support in whatever ways the unions request. Okay. Yeah, so these lights are basically exactly where they need to be. We've got the ball save light there. Technologic tips too and says, I'm paying Joe not to talk about movies out of solidarity. Well, thank you very much, Technologic. That wasn't my primary motivation, but I will accept the revenue because, as I said, we do have expenses. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/showhills and YouTube Super Chat. We are currently $6 away from the next Face Gamer expansion and $26 away from the entrance of the Joust. Okay. So, looking at this, I'm feeling pretty good. We'll have our drawing here of the electromagnetic spectrum. Actually, maybe here. We'll have some guidelines. Like, the playfield artwork is the next major step. And I've started trying to visualize that, but I need to know where all the cutouts are so that the playfield art makes sense in relation to the cutouts. Because you don't want to, like, draw a character on the playfield and then their head is just cut off by a pop bumper. Unless there's some sort of pop bumper robot, and that's, like, your gimmick, right? So, you know, you need to know where these lights are going to be so that you can label them properly and stuff like that. Okay. I am feeling really good about this. I think we're actually at a point where we can start kind of cleaning up. And so let's get this, the surplus blocks put away. We're going to keep these because we are going to need them. Right now we're just marking where the cutouts are going to go. But then once we actually put in the layer of plywood and do the cutouts, it's going to be a whole thing. Awkward one says electromagnetic spectrum. So a rainbow. Well, so the rainbow is part of the electromagnetic spectrum that's represented by the pop bumpers, with the idea being each time you hit a pop bumper, it flashes. You can have lights and pop bumpers now, and you can have them flash colors in sequence the colors of the rainbow. But we've got our shots for infrared light down here. We've got the pop bumpers representing visual light that you'd shoot up this here. We've got in the ultraviolet a trap ball that would go here. We've got X-rays represented by the Chandra Space Telescope, Chandra X-ray Observatory with the 7 drop targets here. And then gamma rays would be represented by a spinner that'll go here. So we're doing 5 different bands of the electromagnetic spectrum. Visible light is 1/5 of what we're doing. We're not doing the entire electromagnetic spectrum because we're focusing on the parts that are the best observed from space telescopes. Some parts of the electromagnetic spectrum are better done with ground-based observation. So we're not going to worry about those here. That's not what we're doing today. Welcome 46 Bonnie. Welcome 46 Bonnie. Welcome 46 Bonnie. La da 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 da. Okay. La da 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 do do. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Okay. So do you want this to be even more horrifying? Oh my gosh, this area down here is about to get absolutely bonkers. But yeah. If once we start filling this in with the art and stuff, it's gonna be its own whole thing. Okay. Welcome, Nez. Okay. Oh boy. I don't know if I can justify this expense. I was just going to Google something real quick because I wanted a picture of it. And then I found out that I could have it because it's a thing that's for sale. And I... So here's the shop link for this. This is not an advertisement for this company. This is just like, here's what I'm looking at right now. And I want you to see it because it's interesting. So this is, and I don't think I can, the way that they've got the image, I don't know if I can, I'm going to have to go in through the inspector or something to try and get it into OBS. Let me see if I can get this image into OBS. This is a total nuclear annihilation, scratch and dent playfield. This is just what, I just basically wanted to look at this so that I could reference where the ball trough is going to go, and also point out, like, so you see that the ball trough is, like, on the lower right at that diagonal line there. That's going to go, like, right here, right? On the other side of the apron. You'd have that ball trough coming in here, and then you'd have the up kick into here. You can also see, if I come stand inside of the triangles of the, right now I'm inside the triangles of the slings. You can see that the slings have 5 very particular cutouts, right? Can I open that image in a new tab? The big one? Oh. Hold on. But yeah, hold on. Let's delete this layer. Will this work? Can I delete this layer with the trash can? Okay, let me bring in the high definition version of this layer. And I'm also going to save this to my computer. But, okay. So, save image as, we're going to save that to downloads, TNA used playfield. The thing is, if I was going to buy one of these, I should have bought it, like, 3 months ago. So I'd be ready to do this now, right? But part of me is just like, oh, boy, that's so cool. Okay. Anyway, Jimmy, Tips26, says, haven't caught a live stream in a while and haven't heard from the Ghost in even longer. The Jost, I'm assuming. Autocorrect got you there, but no worries, Jimmy. I know what you mean. So here we go. Expanjo. Do. And for the second one, here we go. These chains I forged in life are about to begin pulling me down to the deep below. Enter the Jost. Bum, bum. Wait, why isn't it working? Bum, 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 bum. Lowering the Joe opacity now to 90%. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. We are now exactly 20 away from our next face camera expansion milestone. But yeah, so this is exactly a playfield that would go inside of this cabinet. And just eyeballing it here, like where we need to pull some stuff down, or like the sizes of things or whatever, you know, like I can tell we're gonna need to start cutting out the playfield where the ball trough goes, which is gonna hug this all the way up to here. We're going to need to cut out where the plunger's going to plunge. We're going to need to clear out a few things. But, like, you can also see... Oops. The image is not as big as it could be. Let me make it slightly larger. You can also see the triangles where the slings are. There's, like, 5 cutouts. Because there's... well, there's 3 screw holes for posts. And then there's 5 cutouts for lights, sensors, and the actual kick in the sling. Right? So, you know, we would have probably cutouts for the screws here and here. Bread says, what's going to be the ball? A player. You just the only thing that can move fast enough inside something this big is a player with an Elytra and rockets. So the player gets to be the ball. Yay! But yeah, you would have like a lamp coming up here. You would have the actual kick. Boy. Trying to get the angle for that right is going to be a whole thing too. You'd have the... Yeah, this is going to be a whole thing. To try and get these holes cut out properly. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, let's say we do the cutouts for these two here, here, and here. And then we have the light cutouts back here and back here. That would be about right. So, and maybe that part of the sling isn't exactly centered for where the kick should be, but it feels about right to me to have it come in from there as a Tetris piece. Yeah. Dang it. Yeah, this is the line we need to be on. Silk touch. Yeah. Okay. So okay. Yeah, it's so interesting, like, looking at just the cutaway playfield. It's like I can immediately see where my stuff needs to go. Like, I can see where the mounts for the spinners are, and I can see where my spinner mounts need to go. Stuff like that. But yeah, Scott Denisi, who designed Total Nuclear Annihilation, the game that I've got the playfield up for, has been a guest on the show several times. He's really cool, very accessible, incredibly humble creator who makes time for all sorts of folks who are passionate about making cool stuff. And I really appreciated his input very early on in this project. I haven't bothered him with where I'm at about it now. But like just when I was starting to really get into pinball, I started talking to him about what he was working on. Kind of as a fluke, we ended up just in the same Discord for people who were doing VR mini golf. Yeah. Like, it's one of those things, like, I used to laugh at people being like, yeah, if you want to make it in business, you really got to learn to golf. And then I go join a mini golf Discord, and I'm hanging out with, like, one of the guys who made a pinball machine I like. And I'm like, I guess it's real. This is a real thing. Like, what do you know? Welcome, Nope Queen. We are just working on some bits of the playfield here. Dun, 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 dun. Da, da. Dee. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum. Do, 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 do. Okay. Yeah, so the flipper mounts are going to be directly under there. Then there's going to be holes for the lights. Hey, welcome, Gripmonger. Yeah, okay, so we know where the flipper mount's going to be. Then halfway up here, we're going to have light number 1. Then we'll have light number 2. Then we'll have the pin. We'll have another pin up there cutting through. Part of me is like, do we want to have the plywood cutouts be... I think maybe we just keep what we've done over here so far. And then say we're going to get back into this next episode. Because like I said, I'm trying to get this episode out by Wednesday at the latest. And realistically, I can't spend too much time on this. And then, like, I'm trying to figure out where... Basically, we're kind of between two phases. And I'm trying to figure out where exactly I want to put the line between the two phases. Because you want to have just enough of a hint of, like, and here's what we're doing in the next week's episode. Come on back. Because, like, I feel like if I try to explain what I'm doing with these holes without doing anything with them first, it's going to be a complete mystery. But if I start working on these holes, am I going to start doing the whole playfield? I need to have the discipline to not do that, because otherwise the 2 episodes worth of stuff is going to get recorded and then no episode goes out. But hey, let's real quick thank Gritmonger, because we got a tip rolling in from Gritmonger 420. And we were 20 even away from our next phase camera expansion milestone. So here we go. Expands Joe. Lowering the Joe Pasty now to 80%. Gideon says the pinball layout on the right side looks cool. How can I download the image for that layout? Oh, that's at the Spooky Pinball shop. Like I was saying, I was like, I kind of wish I had an extra $400 so I could just buy this and then, like, reference it, like, in person. But the problem is, by the time, even if I ordered it tonight, by the time it arrives, like, the episode about cutting the holes in the plywood is supposed to come out next week. And so I kind of feel like maybe I would have screwed up. Like, if I was gonna order this, I should have ordered this weeks ago. And arguably, because it's $400, I should not have ordered it weeks ago. I should just look at the picture, because it's a nice JPEG. But yeah, I feel like there's something cool, like, during the craft streams about having tactile stuff I can hold up like this. But we're not exactly past the point where this is relevant, but we are so rapidly approaching the point where this is no longer relevant that it would be... This isn't one of those things where I'm like, oh, I should save up for a few months and then get it. It's like, yeah, if I don't have this next week, I shouldn't have it. And even if I ordered it today, I don't know if I can get it by next week. So, probably not. Grayson says, can you zoom out so your pinball machine is side by side with the image? Yeah, keep in mind, my pinball machine is a totally different layout. This is the layout of... This is a layout of a pinball machine that this cabinet is based on. I measured the cabinet that the playfield on the right here fits into. But yeah, you can see in Minecraft the two playfields kind of side by side. They're not exactly lined up exactly to the right scales, but you get the sense of it, right? You can see where the slings are on both, because there's those brown triangles where you can see the wood. That's where the plastic protectors have artwork on them that cover the slings, right? You can see the ball trough, which is along the apron there. You can see the cutouts for drop targets and pop bumpers. There's only one pop bumper on this particular machine, and that's on the center right. Whereas on my machine, we've got 3 pop bumpers, so we'd have 3 cutouts for them, you know. This playfield also already has the lights installed already, whereas I would have cutouts because I haven't got the lights in. Excuse me. Are they different dimensions? Not really. The thing is, the upper part of this playfield is covered by that. So you can't see the top part here that's cut off because it's underneath the overhang. They're actually basically identical dimensions, but just the way the map's represented in Minecraft, they look slightly different. And they're not at exactly the same ratio. Sorry, they're not at the same zoom level, because of how, like, there's kind of 2 heights I can be at here, and one of them is slightly too big and the other one's like slightly too small. You see what I mean? Like, this is close, but it's not quite right. But yeah, Ferroterrier says the cutoff tricks my brain into thinking they're different. Yeah, I mean, and I did kind of cut my playfield off slightly lower than it should be because of that, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close. I just wanted to make sure nothing super important was ahead of that cutoff. What I'm actually thinking about doing in the long term is whatever I build down here, I'll build a clone of up on top of the machine on this shelf, because we've got this shelf here. And so I'll build a clone of whatever's directly below it on the shelf. There's going to be some color things that'll be an issue, but you'll at least get the sense of it. Oh, I don't have the totem out. I should while I'm flying. But I wanted the maps big. But yeah, I think I'm going to start cutting out the ball trough tonight, because that's easy. It's okay. Bum, 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 bum. So the ball trough should be about a little bit. Let me see if I can get ball trough dimensions. Pinball, ball trough, cutout width. Construction. So, pinballmakers.com is a really great source for all sorts of stuff here. So if I search for the ball trough, trough is positioned at the bottom of the playfield, used to collect all the balls in standard gameplay. No, they don't have the exact width on there. Oh, but you can also see a really good image of the slingshots on that website. Oops, wrong thing. Didn't mean to get rid of that. I wanted to get rid of this overlay. Okay, so let me see if I can find if the word trough shows up again. Nah. But anyway, the core concept is the ball trough is going to have a cutout slightly wider than the ball. The ball is about 6 blocks wide, a little bit over that. And so if we look at this, the diagonal for that should be about a little bit narrower than the diagonal for that. So what was our width for the diagonal? Let's get some more of these. Okay, whoops. So our width in here was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's about right. So we'll do an 8 deep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we can see that over here that this comes back a little bit. Nez says, one of my geese is refusing to get in the coop. I don't know much about geese, but I've seen a video game where they're uncooperative. And I think the word coop and the word cooperative have something in common. Geese, not very. But good luck to you, Nez. Sorry about your agricultural headaches there. Just on a gut level, like on an emotional level, I am feeling so great about this playfield, about the layout, about how everything's coming together. Like, so yeah, thank y'all so much who have like written kind words, like, because like I put so much time into preparing and planning for this, and I wasn't sure. Like, I got to certain points where I'm like, the problem is when you're trying to do some types of art, and this is like 3-dimensional sculpture, industrial design. It's like this weird interdisciplinary thing. It's game design, but it's also industrial design, mechanical design, you know, all these other things. The problem is it looks the most wrong when you've almost got it right. Like, part of your brain is just like, nope, you're not there. Something's up. Don't turn this in. This isn't done. And then you figure out, like, those 1 or 2 little things that are just bothering you, like getting that kinetic sling disc figured out. And it's just like, all of a sudden it's like, if it wasn't this close to done, it wouldn't have bothered me that thing was wrong. You know what I mean? I Am a Bagel says, Pinball Uncanny Valley. You know, in some ways, yeah, it is similar to the Uncanny Valley effect. Like, if somebody sends me an illustration that's got, like, one thing blatantly wrong with it, but is, like, pretty good otherwise, I'm like, why is this blatantly wrong? But if, like, a bunch of stuff is blatantly wrong, I'm like, okay, this is a sketch. It's obviously not finished. You know what I mean? Well, the Uncanny Valley effect is specifically about 3-dimensional representations of humanity. And this is a pinball game, so it's not the same thing exactly. But it's a similar thing. It has a lot in common with the Uncanny Valley effect. I'm not denying that. But it's a distinct phenomena. Or it's a superset of phenomena that the Uncanny Valley would be a specific instance of. And so, like, I feel this huge sense of relief that we're at this point now with the machine. Now, to finish the episode, there's still certain things I still need to go film tomorrow, so I'm not stressed about that either. like the episode isn't done, but where we need to be for this layout. This is good. And I wanted to get the layout done before I recorded this next segment, because I got doing this next segment with Cubs Museum, where I'm turning in a book that I'm writing, but it's related to the layout, and I wanted to show it in its final form while I was like working on the book on camera, because this is a visual medium, you know. Like streaming is a little bit more audio because people are listening to it while they're working. But like the YouTube stuff, I try to make sure that the audio and the visual stuff is a lot more in harmony. And if it's not in harmony, then I'll go back and fight replay mod for 4 hours until I get it fixed, and then I'm really mad. But that's fine. Yeah, Stephanie, don't worry. We got 5 minutes until the glass despawns. So I know I was making a pass every so often just so it wouldn't. Yeah, if I go down there every time I break a block, I'll never get anything done. But yeah, if I go down there before they start despawning, if I go down there every 3 or 4 minutes, I'm in good shape. Oh, whoops, I forgot to knock these ones out. Because my internal timer was like, uh-oh, it's almost 5 minutes, you better get down there. Miguel Angel says, when I paint, I usually don't like the result until I leave it alone for a few days. Yeah, sometimes, like, especially with paint, though, you know, until you see how it looks dry, you have an intuition for how it'll look. But especially if you're doing anything experimental, you're like, well, the point of the experiment is that I'm not sure exactly how it's going to come out, right? If you're pushing your limits and you're not in your comfort zone, then you know for a fact that you're just like, I'm going to have to wait and see how this is, you know? I can't count on this feeling right until I see the final product. Whoops. Stacy says, what am I breaking the glass for? This is where the ball trough is going to go. And we need to have a cutout for it. Ejo Studio says, wouldn't it be quicker to use TNT to blow the glass up? Well, we're not removing 100% of the glass. We're trying to cut a hole in the playfield here for where the ball trough. The ball trough is a particular component that catches the drained balls and then ejects them back up into the shooter lane. And so here, if I show a picture of a real playfield on the right there, you'll see that diagonal cutout in the lower right. That's actually kind of like the biggest continuous cutout in the playfield. We're not trying to get rid of the whole thing. And because it has to be precisely 8 blocks wide for the dimensions to be right, it's easier to do things that are precise without TNT. And also, there's concrete powder right here that'll be very easily destroyed by the TNT. It's just too much of a hassle trying to do it that way. I understand your point, but it's just not how I want to approach the problem. Okay. So the trough needs to come all the way back until about here, where we have this cut out. And Coral says, Joe, I'm planning a cosplay of you and your character. I was wondering if you have any suggestions for details to add or anything. Like a keychain or pattern or anything. I don't really have a keychain because my keychain was my fob for my car. And I had to turn in my keys when the car was totaled in the accident. And so, yeah, no, I don't have like distinctive thing where I could be like, oh yeah, I always carry this with me, blah blah blah. So Actually, so this has been this whole time. Let's look at this. So it's like 2221, 2221, 2221, 2221. Okay, yeah, so this is just going to be 2221 all the way through. So 2221. So this needs to actually be 2221, 2221. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, so that shouldn't have cut over here this much. Yeah, if you have a burlap baseball cap, I wear those all the time, but I wouldn't expect most people to have access to those. Okay. Because I've only ever seen one in my life, and I own it. So, yeah, good luck with that. Granted, I've never, like, Googled for them. Maybe you can get them on Google. But, like, I've only been to one store in my entire life that sold burlap baseball caps. And I'm exaggerating when I say burlap baseball caps. They had literally one in the entire store. And I checked every other store in the park, and they didn't have any more. Because I was like, you know, I'd kind of prefer this if it was a slightly different color. And then that was the only color. And I was like, well, that's just how life is sometimes. I really like this, so I'm going to get the one that they have. I'd like it slightly more if it was slightly different. But you know what? That's not how life is. Oh, honestly, I love having this cutout here now, so I can just fly straight up from the bed way easier. Why? Oh, I should have done this months ago. I was meaning to do this months ago, but I just didn't. In the auditorium. Have a good day, Bagel. Okay, so we need to have this diagonally cut over a little bit more. So this is, so we've got the 2221, 2221, and we want to have this cut up here, but then not continue all the way. And then we maybe have that continue up to there. Yeah. Yeah, and then there'd be like a metal thing that guides the ball into the trough here. Oh, wait, no, I have that at the wrong angle. That should be cutting further this way, not cutting in. Should be cutting out. I feel like it would feel more right if I had it go this way. Yeah. That feels closer to how it should be. Miss Gold Fox says, I was just looking at the Discord details to join the pinball tournament. I've never done it before, so I'm still figuring things out. Is week 6 now closed? When does it change over to the next board? Yeah, I think week 6 should have closed either during this stream or shortly after. And week 7 will start slightly after the stream because it does take me some time to switch it over. It's a manual process. It's not automated. But yeah, so I'm about to start week 7. If I go to the weekly pinball challenges thing and I looked at the week 7 is going to be Black Rose, which is a pirate-themed pinball machine. That's a lot of fun. I've actually gotten to play Black Rose in tournaments a few times in real life, and so it's definitely one I want to practice and get the rules of. Junkyard hasn't actually shown up in any of the tournaments I've played in, although it's a pretty popular game, so I wouldn't rule it out. But yeah, Black Rose definitely shows up in tournaments, so that's one I'm going to be playing this week. Somebody says, Ferret Terrier says, I'm still figuring out the pinball tournament too. Only your best 15 weeks are counted, so feel free to join. That's exactly right. So it's a 26-week series of weekly tournaments, but only your 15 best weeks out of that 26 counts towards your final ranking. And so your final standings in the tournament, you don't have to be like, oh no, I'm going to be gone for a week or two, or I'm going to take a month off and, walk around the Alps or something. I'm going skiing in Colorado. I'm not going to be there. No, that's fine, because 9 of the 26 weeks are going to get thrown out, even if you compete all 26 weeks, right? Only people's best 15 weeks are going to be in there. So that's like two months and change worth of, out of a 6-month tournament, you only have to show up for basically 2/3 of it to have 15 scores in. And I can, let me pull up, do I have the rankings for, /series? Is it 2797? So yeah, the current standings for the series, we've only got 5 weeks in so far. I'm going to have to put the scores in manually. The software, Pinball FX, does not interface with this website directly. This is actual scorekeeping software for running pinball tournaments, and I'm trying to learn how to do it so that I can run tournaments in real life. Like, in the long term, I'd love to be able to have not necessarily formal IFPA tournaments I'm running, but like fun tournaments for like, hey, we got a bunch of viewers together at a convention. Let's just do a fun 15, 16 person tournament, and we could actually like compete for real. Like, not like super serious, but like I could have like a few like small prizes. Like, hey, first place would be a signed TCG card or something, So, but I need to learn, in order to keep track of like a real tournament like that with actual prizes, I need to learn this software. And so a lot of what I try and do with the Discord is I try to make sure that I'm learning things that I can use in other contexts, right? So that's part of the goal there, is I'm trying to learn how to use that software so that we can use it to run other real tournaments later. But yeah, this trough is looking good. Very excited. That is going to help me express what I'm, because the next episode is going to be all about getting laying the groundwork so we can start painting this and like labeling stuff, and we're doing really well. This is great. This is very exciting. Oh wow, we are 5 minutes from the end of the stream. It's a school night, so I'm trying to do a hard stop at 10:30. Not because I need to go to bed at 10:35, but because, like I said, I need to switch the pinball tournament over. Our Everstorm server is actually going to be resetting. So this next Everstorm, y'all might be like, Joe, I don't know, some of these choices you made seem a little bit interesting. Why would you do this to us? And since my daughter just got back from New York, she's been interested in like what I do, and she wants to spend a lot of time with me, and I want to spend a lot of time with her. And so sometimes she'll say, hey, what are you working on? Is it something that I can help with? And I was like, oh, I'm designing the next Everstorm. Here's how we do it. We pull up, this list of things that you can change about Minecraft, or things that you can do to make the game different. And so, we kind of went through the list, and it's like, what do you think would be funny? What do you think would be fun to play? Can we put in some of these might be considered kind of like making the game really extra hard. Can we add some things that make the game easy? That sort of thing to balance it out. So that way people aren't, we never announce in advance what mods we're going to be using really. We almost never announce what mods, it's all server side stuff. If you let me roll back. If you're not familiar with it, the Everstorm is our Patreon monthly hardcore server where I do experimental weird game design and server testing stuff. And it's always the latest vanilla version of Minecraft for the client, but then the server might have a bunch of weird mods, and they can be really out there. Burango says, I see Deepfield is being designed. It sure is. I'm feeling real good about where we are on that. We just did the last call for tips, so I'm kind of summarizing where we're at. But yeah, we've got the upper playfield, we got the lower playfield, we just cut the trough for the ball trough to go in, which is actually more obvious on the map than on the thing there. But yeah, I'm very excited. So anyway, yeah, so my daughter actually helped me design this next Everstorm. So you're welcome, and I'm sorry. It's going to be very different from the last one we just did was a huge success. Our community liaison, Tommy Boy, was like, I want to do an experimental Everstorm. I'm like, that's great. All Everstorms are experimental. What's the experiment? And Tommy's like, what if we ask people to suggest things and we have them vote on them? But the thing is, like, some of the stuff they voted on, just because it was in the game, didn't know people wouldn't know necessarily how it influenced the game, right? And that was a huge success. But we always try to do something very different. So the people who loved this month, this one's also going to be kind of out there, but out there in different ways. And the things we learned from the one Tommy just did will apply to future Everstorms as well. So anyway, I've got a lot of work to do tonight. I can't stick around much past 10:30, but yeah. I'm looking at this playfield. I'm looking at... I almost feel like I need... Let's move my face a little bit out of the way here. I'm looking at all of this, and I'm feeling really excited. Really excited about where this is going to go. Like, I'm having a hard time not starting on the episode after this is, like, work yet. I was like, because I'm at the point now, like, I spent a lot of effort trying to be able to visualize where everything's going to go, and now that I see where everything needs to go, I'm like, and now we do it. And now we do it. But, like, I got to finish this episode. I got to record this episode about placing the things first. But yeah, thank y'all so much to everybody who showed up during the stream, everybody who tipped, everybody who just watched and lurked and never said a thing. We're making this for you too. This is a real joy that I get to do this every night with y'all. Especially, like I said, I had a fantastic day today with my family, wrapping up the weekend strong by doing some fun stuff for the Patreon Discord. Like, I gotta really hand it to Sammy Higgins. One of the things that I kind of let go was running these pinball tournaments, because I've been overextended a lot. Like, trying to get a business off the ground is really hard. And one of the things I stopped doing at one point was running these weekly pinball tournaments. And Sammy's no longer on the staff, but when she was, she brought back, she said, Joe, I know you really like these, and I know you don't have time to do it. Let me do it. And I said, okay, thank you, yes. And even though Sammy had other stuff come up and is no longer working for us, like, her bringing them back just really helped demonstrate to me why, like, there are certain things, like, yeah, it's one more thing to do, but, like, it's a worthwhile thing to do, you know? And so I'm back running the weekly tournaments myself for the time being, but I'm putting a lot of... I'm experimenting more, I'm learning more, I'm having fun. And so I'm excited to do that tonight. I'm excited to do the new Everstorm tonight. So yeah, that's two fun things for the Discord community. I should probably mention that, by the way, if you want to join the Discord, $5 gets you on the Discord, $10 gets you on the Minecraft servers, and that's at... Oh no, I have a URL for this. Oh yeah. Patreon.com/JoeHills. Okay, cool. And we are now at 10:30. So, y'all, thank you so much again. If you haven't seen XB's latest episode, apparently I'm in it. I haven't seen it yet, but let me see if I can get the URL for you. Since we're not rating other streams right now. Uh-oh. There's that XB Crafted sound. Better mute that. Here's a link to XB's latest video. Featuring me. So yeah, go ahead and check out XP's latest video and enjoy it. And I will see y'all again tomorrow. I've got a stream at 8:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. If you're ever curious about my schedule, joehills.net/soon. Boom. Okay. That's it. We did everything. Normally, I end the stream and I'm like, I forgot to link the schedule. Or I forgot to send people to a video. We did it all. We did it. Yay. Everybody have a great night. Catch you later. Bye.